UFC Macau just ended. Holy shit, guys. What a great morning of fights. We had 9 finishes, and Song Yudong was the only Chinese fighter to win on this card. And we're going to talk about it all here. So just make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And let's go ahead and get right into it. So for the first fight of the night, we had Loma Lugbume versus Jacqueline Eminem. And here, Jacqueline was able to make it look very easy. Complete domination. Jacqueline was able to get it done in the first round by submission, as she almost fucking ripped off Loma's arm. I did take a screenshot of it so you guys could see it, but man, she was cranking on that arm pretty bad. Loma did exactly what my fear was in this fight, which is engaging in the clinch. Instead of working her back off the cage, she was engaging in the clinch and trying to work and focus on getting Jacqueline's back towards the cage, where that wasn't a good idea at all. After some work, Jacqueline eventually was able to get the trip, get Loma to the ground, where she showed that she's completely at a different level. And I think the finish in this fight puts her back in a really good spot. She did switch camps, so I'm excited to see her developments throughout her career. And she's shown that once she gets you to the ground, it's pretty much a wrap. Of course, moving forward, Jacqueline's main concern is going to be working on her striking. As long as she's able to get that squared away and also her cardio, she could really make a threat to this division. I mean, guys, look at this. She was just ripping the shit out of her arm. She made that shit look like her elbow was in the front. But just pure grappling domination here. Now that I look back at it, I feel dumb as fuck for picking Loma, but hey, it is what it is. Shout out to Jacqueline. She started off the card with the finish, but this is not where it ended. Because next up, we had Zhu Kanji versus Rodrigo Vera, and all week I've been super confident on Vera. I told you guys. I did think that this fight was going to go longer and go to a decision, but Vera was able to get a vicious knockout in this fight. In the beginning, he did get caught with some good shots by Zhu, and you could tell Zhu has some great power on him. But I told you guys, man, these Peruvian fighters, they have some chins on them, and they'll keep fighting. I was very, very interested in seeing where that fight goes, because that fight was going to be a good fight if it went all 3 rounds. But Vera just made easy work of him. Once Zhu started to get off, he slowed down the pace, and then he kind of reset there. And there he was able to get him with a beautiful shot and drop him clean, and then follow up with some ground and pound, and the ref had to pull him off. Man, I had to screenshot this shit like 1,000 times just to make sure I got the right angle for y'all. So make sure y'all like the video. You can see here that Vera landed a beautiful left hook right to the chin of Zhu. And this right here was a shot that dropped him bad. Here's the snippet of whenever he followed up with the ground and pound. Here, he just got a couple of more shots off, and that was done for Zhu. Zhu didn't really agree with the stoppage, but he clearly was out of it. Now, the finishes were great and all, but next up, we had a great feel-good moment here, because Angela Hill was able to put belt to ass. Man, she whooped on the Panda for 3 rounds straight. Just total domination. Here in this fight, she didn't have to worry at all about a takedown threat, where she was able to just display her Muay Thai. She landed some nasty body shots, some nasty knees in the clinch, and she just showed different levels in this fight. This was complete domination, and the Panda literally had nothing for her. Now, like I said, I'm a guy who loves finishes, but at the same time, I'm also an Angela Hill fan, so I was really happy to see her get the win here. Now, I don't know what they do with the Panda here, or whatever her name is, moving forward, but I didn't really like her like that, because she was getting pieced up the whole fight and was still acting like she wasn't getting hit. She was just taunting Angela Hill pretty much the whole fight, but the whole time she was doing that, she was just getting her ass worked.
Ground and pound, Cormier is round. Martin Vittori, my pants upside down. Phil Davis taught me to take a down. Yeah, beat you in your hometown.
The cringe master gets it done. Ray Saruya is able to easily get a submission on Luis Garule. And here, I didn't think he was able to get that done, because Luis Garule has no neck. But in the first round, he was able to take the back and get in what I first thought was a face crank, but ended up being a rear naked choke. Shout out to Luis Garule, and hella respect for him stepping into this fight on short notice, flying all the way to China after just fighting 2 weeks ago. Now, Ray Saruya's only loss on his career is to Joshua Van, who is currently the champ. And I mean, he lost, but he was able to go 3 rounds with him. So still a very young fighter, still 23 years old, learning a lot. But hey, hats off to this guy. He is a very good wrestler and a very good grappler. He took some time off after the Van loss, and here he definitely showed some improvements here in this fight. I thought Garule would have more success throughout the fight. Even though he took the fight here on short notice, he didn't really look like he wanted to be in there. Maybe Ray is just that strong, but once he got him, he was not able to fight him off at all. And Ray here with the grappling just showed complete domination. See, it's listed on Tapology as a rear naked choke, but you can clearly see that. I mean, he doesn't look to be under the neck, because you could still see Ray Saruya's full arm, and you can't even see Garule's chin. But this right here is the exact moment where he tapped and the ref had to step in. Ray Saruya was easily able to get it done here in the first round. Cody Haddon was able to look like the minus 350 that he was with a complete domination of a Richie Long and also a finish in the second round. Cody Haddon did exactly what he was supposed to do, come up with the technical striking, eventually leading to a takedown, getting his back against the cage, dragging him down to where, of course, he had the clear advantage. At the end of the first round, it looked very bad already for Richie Long as he looked like he was about to get finished if there was only about 5 seconds left on that clock. Cody Haddon comes out immediately that second round, working a Richie Long, getting his back against the cage again, but this time he was able to land some knees right to the liver. A Richie Long grabs his stomach the first shot, and with the second knee, Haddon drops him bad, leading to Richie Long falling down to the ground and Haddon getting a ground and pound finish. And here you can see a Richie Long taking his hand off his stomach after recovering his stomach, and this right here was the second knee that landed right on the liver of a Richie Long and dropped him bad, and he got finished right after this. Although Cody Haddon had a masterclass performance where he was able to look like the line that he was, he did make one big mistake. And that was at the end of the fight calling for that bonus. Like, dude, come on. You don't watch enough UFC to know not to call for that bonus. If you watch enough UFC, you know that's a big no-no because the UFC sees that as you trying to make them look a little bad. But I don't think Cody Haddon is broke because of the UFC. I think he's honestly broke because he had to take off a long layoff due to injuries. This is only his real second fight in the UFC, so I know he's not making enough money to just take off 2 years like that. In this fight, Cody Haddon faced no injuries. Now he's fully recovered. So I'm excited to see what they do with him next because he's a very skilled prospect, and I cannot believe that he was an underdog versus a well-maker. Now here, we had our first and only split decision of the night. We had Ding Ming versus Jose Sosa Henrique. And I was happy with the decision here as I did peak Henrique. But also, I think it ended up being the right call. As Ding was mainly only landing really leg kicks. And Henrique was able to implement the damage on him where Ding looked pretty bad at the end of the fight. And Henrique looked pretty clean like he didn't even fight. But overall, though, this fight perfectly made sense to be a split decision because, you don't really know at the end of this fight who was the winner based off of how you were scoring it. But with the new way of judging, I think, honestly, this was the perfect decision because Henrique landed more damage, the more impactful shots. I think if Ming Ding didn't show so much frustration in that third round, he could have pulled it off. But he really let the length and the game plan of Jose Henrique to stay out of the danger really get to him and frustrate him in that third round. Now, I don't know what they do with these guys next. Both guys are still entertaining fighters. But honestly, in this division, I don't really see them going far at all. I think, if anything, Ming comes back and has a good performance. But I do see Henrique possibly having some issues here in this division later on. But let's go ahead and see what they match up for them next. Tell me your thoughts. Do you think Ding Ming won or do you think Jose Henrique won? Make sure to comment below what you think. Luis Diaz didn't even have to use his grappling in his fight as he was able to make easy work of Isaac Lee. In the beginning of the fight, they announced that Luis Diaz was training with Carlos Prates, and I was like, oh yeah, it's a wrap. And in this fight, he just displayed his striking and his power. This dude just throws some bombs. Luis Diaz definitely was the one that looked like the takeout here. I did think that Isaac Lee was going to at least be able to, survive the striking. But Luis Diaz had to be one of the most confident picks here on this card. Still value in the money line, but also by finish, I was able to get it at plus 120. And that right there cashed easily in the first round. I wish I would have slammed it. I wish I would have played that because honestly, that was a gimme fight. Watching tape of both these guys, I knew Luis Diaz was going to get it done. I thought more of a submission, but he clocked this guy and dropped him bad. Dude hit him so bad with that right hook, he went the other way. As far as Isaac Lee goes, I honestly don't know why the UFC signed him. He only beats trash cans, and he's honestly not really a skilled fighter. I don't really see him having too much success here in the UFC. I think he's a guy that they'll use to make other prospects look better. Maybe he changes camps and makes some improvements and later on his career looks better. But from what I've seen all around from Isaac Lee, I just don't think he's ready for the UFC. Maybe he can go to the PFL with Jake Matthews. And maybe Alex Perez too, because holy shit. I picked Alex Perez to win this fight. I did tell you guys after the weigh-ins I was a little concerned. But I still ended up sticking with him. And here, he put off an Oscar performance. Now, I was relieved that this happened because of my slip, because Alex Perez was definitely on his way out of there. But he gets a toe tap to his balls, And immediately after that happened, I knew the fight was over. I'm not trying to shit on Alex Perez, but holy shit, man, that was pretty bad. I mean, gentlemen here, you know, we all have nuts. I mean, maybe not all of us, but I mean, come on, dude. If we were to get hit like that, I'm not fucking throwing up or being down for 5 minutes. Throughout the week, I was actually watching some interviews on Alex Perez, and he says himself he doesn't think that he's a good fighter, and he's not confident in himself. So that 100% leads me to thinking that honestly was all fake. Sima Derji had the chance to be the first Chinese fighter on this card to win, and the win ended up being taken away from him with the Oscar performance of Alex Perez. But at the same time, though, he does have to take some accountability because that was not the first foul of the fight. He did eye poke as well before this. If that eye poke would have never happened, I think Alex Perez would have just took his time but ended up getting back up. But with the excuse of already having been fouled twice, he was able to clearly take advantage of that here. In my opinion, a very bad look on Alex Perez here. And the UFC has been cutting guys left and right. I wonder if they keep Alex Perez or if they cut him after this fight. I mean, here you can see that Alex Perez even kind of steered away from that nut shot, so it wasn't even flush. You can see the big toe on the left side of Alex. The right side is where he was holding and complaining about. If anything, if I was holding my nuts, I would have holded my damn left side, not the right side. Because if anything, that shit got hit by a pinky toe. And I don't know, man, because here I see him holding on to his right side. I think the most impact, if the nut shot did land in flush, would have been on his left side. Maybe he is holding the left, I don't know. I mean, I'm not balls watching. But let me know what y'all think below about this shot. Was it enough to gag, spit in the bucket for 5 minutes and not be able to stand? Let me know what y'all think about it. With over 20 fights in this organization, Jake Matthews will never be anything in the UFC. I mean, he did dominate Harris here in this fight and even got 30-25 on one of the judges' scorecards on some Brady versus Buckley shit. But dude, cut Jake Matthews. Please send Jake Matthews to the PFL. This was clearly a setup fight for Jake Matthews to display a finish here. He hurt Harris bad multiple times. And what did I say in my weigh-in recap? This guy has a shitty-ass IQ. What did he do? He wanted to engage in the grappling where Harris had an advantage. Even though Harris wasn't really able to have too much success there on the ground, there he was able to just play it safe. But if Jake Matthews just stood his ass back up, he would have knocked out Harris bad and earned more fans throughout the UFC. Here, he just made himself look like shit. And the post-interview pissed me off because this guy goes, "Oh, maybe next time." MMA gods, please, I pray that there's no next time. I've personally never been a fan of Jake Matthews, and this fight reminded me exactly why I will never trust Jake Matthews or be a fan of Jake Matthews. All respect to him to get in there as a fighter and give it his all, but I either want to see him get smoked next or sent over to another organization. Like I said all week, Harris is giving me Thumbo Garimbo vibes. I think the UFC cuts him or he ends up retiring. And man, I told you guys, Kaya Sakura is on a different level. Here he made easy ass work of Cameron Smotherman. Everybody was doubting Kaya Sakura when I knew 100% here he'll get it done however he wanted. Back at 135, he was able to display his power. And I think with that beautiful shot, he might have aligned Cameron's nose back. Man, oh man, after a shitty-ass performance by Jake Matthews, Kaya Sakura definitely was able to get the crowd going. And from this fight moving forward, there was nothing else but finishes left on this card. Here you can see Kaya Sakura lands a beautiful left hand to the chin of Cameron Smotherman. This is what initially drops Smotherman down to the ground. He attempts to get back up, but Kaya Sakura follows up and ends up brutally putting out Cameron Smotherman cold. This was just a huge step up for Cameron Smotherman and a huge step down for Kaya Sakura. But after Kaya Sakura came into the UFC getting finished 2 times in a row, it was beautiful to see him bounce back at this spot at 135. And let's see what they do with him next. Kaya Sakura, I know that guy's super happy because he got the call that he got the extra 100K bonus too. 39 seconds is all she wrote for Talison Teixeira as Sergey Pavlovich was able to easily get the knockout here in this fight. Now, I thought Talison would be more durable because the Derek Lewis knockout wasn't really a knockout. But, I mean, Sergey just had some bombs in his fucking hands. I mean, you can't even avoid that. Once he just came in and didn't respect Talison anymore, he was able to beautifully land a shot, dropping him real bad, following up, and getting him out of there. And you know what? The funniest part of this all is that this recap for this fight was just as long as this fight. That's pretty funny. And here we see a beautiful right hand by Sergey that drops Taliesin very bad. Shit, the ref looks like he's ready to pick him up already off the ground. But literally after Sergey was like, "All right, I'm done. I'm getting out of here." He just rushed in and just knocked him the fuck out. Next up here, we have another fight that upset the Chinese crowd as Zhang Mingyang gets knocked out bad by Alonzo Menafield. Throughout the week, I did pick Zhang, but my concern here was exactly what happened. Alonzo Menafield was able to use his wide frame to keep Zhang against the cage. He was able to get some control time with him against the cage and land some damaging shots. When they separated, Alonzo was just throwing bombs out there. Both guys were just throwing bombs out there, hoping to land one on the other. Alonzo was just a more stronger and powerful dude here in this fight. Now that I look back at it, the Zhang pick was definitely a stupid-ass pick. Just because you're kind of banking on the guy to win in the first round. After the first round, he looks like shit. But this time, Zhang couldn't even make it to the second round, as he gets completely dominated and ambushed by Alonzo Menafield. And everybody shits on Alonzo because he's got chinned by some of the best guys in this division. But here, after this fight, he definitely deserves some respect on his name, as he's still a ranked opponent and he was able to still get a nasty finish here. And him, out of all guys, was able to make the most easiest work out of Mingyang Zhang. Menafield turns down another prospect and is the first guy to get Zhang in the UFC out of here in the first round. This right here was the fight-ending shot. The shot that made the difference in this fight. A beautiful left hook to the chin of Zhang. Ends up dropping him super bad. And again, the Chinese crowd is super upset because another one of their guys loses. Now coming into the main event, now there's 0 wins for China throughout this card. And now it's time for Song Yadong to make a difference here in this card. And next up is the main event. Make sure you guys all like, comment, and subscribe on the video. As always, thank you YouTube family for pulling up on me. I'm glad I was able to wake up at 4 in the morning and watch this card, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it too. Because next up, Song Yadong was finally able to revive the Chinese crowd by being the first one to win and also win by finish in the second round. Now, Song in the first round did come out a little patient, where a lot of people ended up giving that first round to Figgy. Song Yadong comes out in the second round and looks way more confident. Eventually, Figgy gets a little bit frustrated, ends up shooting for a takedown where Song just grabs that neck and was able to squeeze in a nasty guillotine. You can tell that guillotine was super tight because once Song extended his back, Figgy took absolutely no time to tap. After Song gets the finish, he goes crazy, the crowd goes crazy, and us as fans at home, we go crazy as well because China finally got to win here by finish in the second round. And Song Yadong just puts a perfect ending to the night here. What a cherry on the top performance by Song Yadong. I had no doubt in my mind that Song Yadong was going to win this fight, but by submission was not on my bingo card at all. Now here again, we have the picture of the beautiful guillotine by Song Yadong from the bottom. Here in this fight, he just showed to be the more skilled fighter and more well-rounded fighter. Figgy did look super motivated coming into this fight, but it wasn't enough to get past a guy like Song Yadong, who's still very young and dangerous in this division. Who do you guys think is next for Song? And what do you guys think they do next with Figgy here? But thank you very much for viewing my video and going over the Macau post-fight reaction and recap with me. Next week, we have Bilal versus Bonfim. That fight will be at the Apex, but that has to be one of the most best Apex cards I've seen in a while. So I'm very excited to break it down. I'll see you guys in the next video, and I'll make sure to break down the full card on that for you guys here. We'll go ahead and drop that soon. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on the post notifications too if you haven't. Hope y'all have a blessed day, and take care.